The Switch 2 launched on June 5th this year, and I've now had it for almost 2 months. Surprisingly, even though I wasn't able to get it on pre-order, I was able to walk into a GameStop on launch day and pick up the Mario Kart bundle. A bundle that costs US $499, by the way. The version without Mario Kart is $449, which is a 50% increase from the $300 starting price of the original Switch. So immediately, the Switch 2 has to live up to the price hike from its predecessor. Since buying the Switch 2, I have been trying it a lot in both docked and handheld mode. I even traveled to Europe and took it along with me. I've been playing the heck out of Mario Kart World, as you can imagine, especially with my 7-year-old son. I've also recently been able to pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza and try that out. And of course, I've been playing some of my old games to see how they look and feel on the new system. So let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Did Nintendo absolutely nail the execution of their second generation product? Or are there still a few gaps? Let's dig in. There's no question that the Switch 2 is already a massive hit. When it launched in early June, it sold 3.5 million units in the first 4 days, becoming the fastest selling new console in history. And there isn't even any model choice yet. The only available model is the black and gray model. There are no other color options and no light or pro models yet. What does the Switch 2 come with? Well, it comes with the dock so you can play on your TV, 2 Joy-Cons, the Joy-Con straps, and power cord and HDMI cords, etc. I bought the Mario Kart bundle, so it came with Mario Kart World as well. The console includes a welcome 256 gigabytes of internal storage right off the bat. That's a huge improvement over the 32 gigabytes in the original Switch. But just like the original Switch, you can expand your storage. But don't go thinking you can just swap your micro SD card from your old Switch to your new Switch. The Switch 2 only works with micro SD express cards, which offer faster read and write speeds, which is crucial for smoother gameplay. But so far, I haven't picked one up yet because the built-in storage has gotten me by. That's a win right out of the box. Let's talk about the hardware, because despite the similar appearance to the original Switch, there's a lot of new stuff here. The thing you'll probably notice right away is the bigger screen at 7.9 inches and a resolution of 1920 by 1080. It's bigger, clearer, and even has a higher refresh rate up to 120 Hz. The new display even supports HDR for supported games. When the console is docked, you get even better output with 4K resolution at 60 frames per second or 1440p at 120 frames per second. The processor inside is the NVIDIA T239 system on a chip, and it also boasts 12 gigabytes of RAM to support faster loading times and more engaging game environments. For connectivity, you now get Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. Plus, Nintendo has added a second USB-C port to the top of the Switch 2, which adds a lot more flexibility and connectivity. A particular annoyance of the original Switch was that you couldn't have it plugged in while in kickstand mode. That is alleviated by the second USB port. Plus, you could also connect additional accessories while you're playing, such as Nintendo's new Switch 2 camera. The Joy-Cons are all new and improved as well. Not only are they bigger and more ergonomic, but they attach to the console completely differently. Instead of sliding onto rails, they magnetically attach. And just because it's magnetic doesn't mean it's flimsy. When connected to the Switch, the Joy-Cons are locked in. You need to press the button on the back side and pull the Joy-Con away at the same time to detach it. When playing with the Joy-Cons detached, you can use them as 2 separate controllers for multiplayer games. And the SR and SL buttons are bigger and more functional now for a better experience. The Joy-Cons come with straps just like before, which are easy to attach. The Joy-Cons have a couple more tricks up their sleeve as well. On the right side, the new C button is a dedicated game chat button. Nintendo's new built-in communication system for when you're playing online with friends. Plus, the Joy-Cons can be used as a mouse. There aren't a lot of supported games just yet, though several games are rumored to be gearing up for it. But you can use the Joy-Con mouse mode to click around in menus and such. A couple of other things to note about the hardware. On top of the device, you'll see your standard headphone jack, which is a welcome addition in a world in which headphone jacks are no longer on smartphones. And you have your game cartridge slot. There are indeed Switch 2 game cartridges, which Nintendo now calls game keys, because the entire game is no longer stored on them. But game cards from the original Switch are backward compatible, so you can still enjoy all of your old games, or borrowed games, traded games, and so on. I also really like the new full-width kickstand. It's so much better than the kind of flimsy kickstand from the previous generation. It makes playing on a tabletop easy. In terms of the dock, it's got an updated design. Unlike the original Switch dock, it has LAN Ethernet support, and it provides 2 USB ports on the front for connectivity and charging controllers. They are actually USB-A ports instead of USB-C, which is kind of an odd choice by Nintendo. So what's it like to play games on it? Well, as I said off the top, I've been playing games like Mario Kart World, which was a launch title, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, which came out in mid-July. Mario Kart World is an awesome new addition to the Mario Kart line of games. The gameplay and the graphics are great. The new hardware opens up new styles of play like free roam, which turns the entire level into a kind of open world playground with different challenges to encounter. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a 3D platformer, which takes full advantage of the graphics processing available on the Switch 2. The playstyle is similar to that of Super Mario Odyssey, and in fact, it was made by the same studio. I haven't had much time with it yet, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But beyond that, I've been impressed at how the new hardware breathes life into old games, even games which have not been optimized for the Switch 2. For example, Sonic Frontiers, a game that kind of pushed the limits of the Switch 1, feels immersive and vibrant on the Switch 2. Because the game can run at 60 frames per second, it just instantly feels like it's performing better and more responsive. Even a game like Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a first-party title and by no means ran poorly on the original Switch, just looks great playing it on the new display as well. It makes me appreciate the game more than I did before. Maybe the only downsides to the Nintendo Switch 2 are battery life and the price of games and accessories. The new Switch has a battery capacity of 5,220 milliamp hours, which will get you anywhere from 2.5 to 6.5 hours of handheld gaming. It all depends on the game you're playing, but in most cases, you will likely see the lower end of the spectrum, and you'll be lucky if you can game for 3 hours. That's not too bad, but when compared to the 4 to 9 hours of the Switch predecessor, especially the later models, which did have quiet battery life improvements, we're taking a big hit in this area. I think people will notice the battery life when they're on road trips or plane rides, for example, and it's not always easy to plug in. So if you're using a travel case or a bag for your Switch 2, make sure you have a power cable packed with it. Then there's the game pricing. Nintendo has taken the opportunity of the new console launch to raise prices on the biggest games. The new Donkey Kong game goes for $69.99 US, and the new Mario Kart goes for $79.99 US. That's $10 to $20 more than the original Switch titles. Not only that, but be prepared to pony up for accessories. If you want the 256GB Nintendo official micro SD express card, it's $60. And a new set of Joy-Cons is $95. So certainly it can start to add up. I still think that Nintendo Switch 2 is a good value though. But you'll want to be choosy about which games and accessories you buy. The Nintendo Switch 2 is a really great device. And it's mostly because Nintendo didn't try to reinvent the wheel too much. They simply took what's great about this Switch and made it even better. They know they have a winning formula right now, so they don't want to mess with it too much. Should you upgrade? I would say yes. You probably should upgrade because for one, the new console is much better than the previous generation. And secondly, there are going to be Switch 2 exclusive games. So if you want to play those, you will need the Switch 2. But that said, you don't have to rush out and get one because as of right now, there are only a handful of new games available. So keep an eye out and maybe pick one up during the holidays or even next year. What's your impression of the Switch 2 from everything you've seen so far? Or maybe you have one. What are your thoughts so far? Let everyone know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, do me a favor and click on that like button. It helps more people find the video and it helps me a ton. And if you are interested in technology and gaming reviews like this, click subscribe. I publish more content regularly, so make sure you don't miss it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.